Hi, my name is Gail Menasco, and you may remember my talk a year ago on diving with sharks, but this time it's about skydiving. And I've been in the sport for 5.5 years, and I have 430 jumps, and so, which is why I want to come and talk to you about this today, because I learned how I could create my own reality. So I want everybody in here to close their eyes, and I want you to imagine that you're on a hot air balloon, and you can feel the cool summer morning air whipping at your face. You're at 3,000 feet, and you stand on top of the balloon, and before you know it, you're in free fall. You feel the wind at your stomach as you track away. You pull your parachute, and you land safely in your neighbor's yard. You may open your eyes. So I've learned through that moment was when I realized that I could create my surroundings and what was in front of me. So reality is really depends on what you want to make your reality and how you can create your reality. So reality is a state of things as they actually exist rather than as they may appear or might be imagined. So you may have a really cool thought, but you can truly make it imagine or make it your reality. As for the perceived reality of skydiving, so many people think skydiving is base jumping close to cliffs or falling out of your harness in a tandem harness. And really, skydiving is a completely different animal. It's actually a sport and discipline and something that people actually dedicate their lives to. And so take your minds away from the base jumping and actually think of how do I want to create my reality in life. So one way is having your thoughts, having the idea, and then putting intent behind your idea, saving up the money, scheduling the class, and then actually doing it. And at that moment, you can see that anything in the world can be yours. So what is the reality of a skydiver? Most of them are broke, and they live in these beautiful tents and mobile homes, and they actually live at the drop zone, and the whole world, that is it. You work at the drop zone, jump at the drop zone. Some work and then go to the drop zone on the weekends, but this is the life. Many skydivers will actually pack parachutes for a living. They'll get paid $5 or $6 per pack job, and all day long they'll pack parachutes, and that's how they make their living at the drop zone. And then when they have enough money and after they paid rent, they could jump on their time off. Now, there's many different types of traditions in skydiving. One of them being beer, whether it was your first cutaway, your first reserve ride, your first time you landed into a tree, you will have to buy beer for your fellow skydivers. Another tradition is that at 100 jumps, you might feel all high and mighty and think you are just super sky god, but as soon as you land, you are going to get pied in the face. So be prepared to taste that whipped cream in your hair and for your hair to stink for a couple days. Another tradition, which is really popular among skydivers, which you have to plan carefully, is actually jumping in the nude. And so you have to plan this carefully because you don't want to land into the Menasco family reunion. And you want to land right in a nice, safe field where there's clothes waiting for you. So this is kind of a rite of passage in the sport of skydiving. So it's pretty cool, which brings the family together. So there's many different types of disciplines of skydiving, and skydivers will train for months or even years on these different types of disciplines, and they compete in worldwide competitions, nationals, and it's a really big deal, and it costs a lot of money too to be in part of these teams. So one of them is RW, and it's where you're belly to earth, as you see in the picture to the left. Free flying is where you're vertical, like in a sit or head down. VRW is vertical relative work, where you're in a vertical position, yet you're doing formations together and seeing how many formations you can do within that free fall period. When you bring RW and free flying together, it creates a hybrid. Now this is called crew, which is canopy relative work. It's where you're building formations with canopies and not in free fall. This is actually very dangerous, and this is a world record that was at my home drop zone in Lake Wales, Florida. And we call them crew dogs because they're crazy, but it's a really cool aspect. Wingsuiting, a lot of people are really familiar with, which you have to have a minimum of 200 jumps if you do want to participate in the wingsuiting. And you actually have a flatter glide ratio, so you have a longer free fall in a wingsuit, which has made it really popular among skydivers. Also, there is wait for it, there is something called XRW, and this is brand new, where you combine someone in free fall in a wingsuit with someone flying a very fast canopy and connecting together. So that's a very small parachute flown by TJ Langren and a wingsuiter coming together, which not many people can do. Finally, there's accuracy and swooping. Accuracy, you fly a very large parachute and you're trying to land on something as small as a quarter. Whereas swooping, you fly a very small parachute and you do a high performance turn to swoop across the land and can be very dangerous, and there are fatalities in that discipline as well. So you may wonder how free fall skydivers train to be in such big waves, and they train in wind tunnels. The average cost of training in a wind tunnel is about $1,000 an hour, so it's best if that time is shared. It's much harder to fly in a wind tunnel than it is in the sky, so as you train a wind tunnel, you actually become better in the sky. So unfortunately, blue sky, black death is a term that most skydivers know, because a friend of ours or people we jump with or know or an acquaintance has fallen in the sport doing something they love. So you do have to understand there is a risk if you do choose to make this your reality. So I hope I was able to show you today that if with the right thought, intent, and action, you can truly make anything your heart desires your reality, whether it's jumping off a hot air balloon, getting pied in the face, or speaking here at Ignite tonight.